dear students, welcome back to physics class. So last class we had discussed the lessons magnetism and matter and the elements of earth magnetic field. There are the three elements of earth magnetic field. One is inclinations, declinations, and then horizontal component of earth magnetic field. Okay, and how to determine the horizontal component of earth magnetic field. Okay, now we are going to the new lessons, chapter 6, electromagnetic induction, that is EMI. Okay, this is not equitized monthly installment. Okay, that is totally different. This is electromagnetic induction, because our life is not possible by imaging without electricity. Okay, so electricity that plays a very important role in our day-to-day life, because all our tasks is done by directly or indirectly by electric currents, because many instruments can be operated by electric currents. So about the current only we are going to study in this lesson. So electromagnetic induction, so how current is induced or how current is produced. So till that lesson we have discussed the moving charge produce magnetic field. Suppose in a conductor if electron flows, what are the effects? One is the magnetic effect, another one is heating effect. So the moving charges produce magnetic field. Similarly, changing the magnet or moving the magnet, that produce current. Is it possible or not possible? Already that too we have discussed in our 10th standard. We have a coil. This is a copper coil which was insulated, and the coils are wounded very closely spaced, and the terminals of the coils are attached to a galvanometer. This is galvanometer 0 point. Okay, now you choose a bar magnet, any one of the pole of the bar magnet. I have chosen the north pole of the bar magnet. I am introducing this bar magnet inside the coil. So this is a coil, this is a bar magnet. So whenever the magnet have a link with the coil, we can notice that there is a change in the galvanometer. The galvanometer shows deflection. So the deflection means current is induced in the circuit. So we can say that there is a relative motion between the magnet and the coil. The current is induced. So what is called induced? Thundi vidrathu. Because the copper coil have a free electron. Normally the electrons cannot move by itself. Some external force is required. So the force is given between the link between the magnet and the coil. Around the magnet have the magnetic field lines. So the field lines in the certain area we can use to say it's a flux. I'm going to explain what is a magnetic flux. So the magnetic flux linked with the coil changes in a certain time. The electrons are induced in the circuit. These induced electrons are called induced EMF, and the current induced by the process is called induced current. Hence the phenomena is electromagnetic induction. Okay, by moving the magnet in a coil, the electricity is induced. So that is induced EMF, and the process is called electromagnetic induction. So now you read the definitions. The electromagnetic induction, it is the phenomena of generating current. So here we can say that the mechanical movement of magnet with the coil that changed into electricity. So here the mechanical energy is changed into electrical energy. So that only we are saying generating electric current. So generating current or EMF. EMF means electromotive force. I will say in the conducting circuit by changing the strength or the position or the orientation of the external magnetic field. So this is the external magnet. So the external magnet, in the external magnet magnetic field change by the link between the magnet and the coil. So hence the phenomena is called electromagnetic induction. Okay, and the current induced in this process is induced current. So the process we can say it is electromagnetic induction. Okay, and next we are going to discuss about the magnetic flux. What is the flux? So the magnetic flux, that is denoted by the letter pi. So magnetic flux is nothing but the total number of field lines crossing the certain area. Suppose if you assume this is the magnetic field, this is the direction of external magnetic field. So magnetic field is a vector quantity. In this magnetic field, in this direction of the magnetic field line, an area is placed. So this is the area, it's a current carrying conductor. So in this area also a vector quantity, and a normal vector is drawn perpendicular to this area. This is a normal vector which is drawn perpendicular to the area, which makes an angle theta. So the flux is nothing but the total number of field lines. Flux is nothing but total number of magnetic field lines crossing normally the surface. Okay, already electric flux we have studied. In the first and two lessons, electric flux is nothing but in a given external electrical field in the particular area, how many field lines are crossing, that is called electric flux. Okay, now we are going to use magnetic flux. It's same like this is an external magnetic field and this is the area element, and this perpendicular to the plane of the area element a normal is drawn, it is 90 degree. Okay, and with the normal makes an angle theta. So how many number of field lines are crossing in this area? அப்ப இந்த ஒரு ஏரியாவுக்குள்ள within this certain area how many number of field lines are crossing, that is denoted by magnetic flux. Okay, here so we can say that is the magnetic flux phi is equal to B vector dot A vector. So the magnetic field also vector quantity and this area of this element also vector quantity. So the dot product of this two vectors that we can say as BA cos theta. So the resultant flux is scalar or vector? The resultant flux is scalar only. Okay, so BA cos theta, where what is a n? Where n cap is nothing but it is a unit vector. N cap is nothing but a unit vector drawn normal to the area. Drawn normal to the area. Normal means perpendicular. Drawn normal to the area. Suppose the flux over the curved area in a uniform magnetic field or non-uniform magnetic field, how it will be. Now we are going to see that flux through over curved surface flux through over the curved surfaces in uniform and a non-uniform magnetic field. Uniform and non-uniform magnetic field is denoted by, that is a flux through the curved surface, over the curved surfaces in uniform and non-uniform magnetic field is denoted by B1 vector dot small surface area D1 vector plus B2 vector dot dA2 vector plus it goes on. So for entire element the total flux, that is summation of all BI vector dot dA I vector. So we can say that integration, so which is equal to integration B vector dot dA vector. Therefore the total flux through this curved surface area in both uniform and non-uniform magnetic field, அது field uniform இருந்தாலும் சரி non-uniform இருந்தாலும் சரி ஒவ்வொரு எலிமெண்ட்டுக்கு சேர்த்து total magnetic field என்ன பண்ணுவோம். So this is the flux through total magnetic field. Okay, this is a total flux through the any given surface. It may be a curved surface in the uniform magnetic field or curved surface in the non-uniform magnetic field. Also, the two cases we are going to see. Suppose if the field is touching, how? Tangentially. If the field is touching tangentially that is theta is equal to 90 degree. So how the diagram looks? This is the magnetic field, external magnetic field. In this direction of external magnetic field, a small curved surface. So this is the surface. So to the surface, a perpendicular drawn is called normal. So normal to magnetic field angle, it is 90 degree, and this surface have the area, that is A vector. Okay, right. So theta is 90 degree. Then what is the flux? Already we know flux. The flux is BA cos theta. Flux is BA cos theta. So we have the magnetic flux in this case is BA cos 90 degree, which is equal to 0. So BA into 0, then the flux enclosed in this area will be 0. So to get the maximum flux, how it could be? It is placed normal. Okay, if the field is normal, to the surface, that is theta is equal to 0 degree. Look at the diagram. This is the magnetic field. This is the external magnetic field, and this is the unit area. This is A vector. Okay. Here the normal is drawn. This is the normal. So the field is normal to the surface. Surface area normal போகுது. So this is the normal. So theta is equal to 0. Then the flux enclosed is BA into cos 0. Cos 0 degree is equal to sin 90, which is equal to 1. Then BA into 1. Therefore, flux is equal to BA. So here the flux is maximum. So here we can say it's a maximum flux, or the magnetic field is ratio to the flux enclosed in the unit area. This can be denoted as magnetic flux density or magnetic induction. This is called magnetic flux density or magnetic induction. Okay. So just about the introduction. We know the moving charge produce magnetic field like electron. Okay, if electron moves in the conductor, that produce magnetic field. In the same way, if a magnet moves in a coil, will it produce a current? Yes. Okay. So either the magnet should move into the coil or the coil should move into the magnet. So by this relative motion between the magnet and coil, the current is induced, and this process is called electromagnetic induction. Okay. And then magnetic flux. What is a magnetic flux? It is nothing but, let us take an area. So in this certain area, how many number of field lines are crossing? So the total number of field lines, magnetic field lines crossing normally to the surface. Crossing normally to the surface is called magnetic flux. Okay, and this is the general formula. Here n vector that represents unit, n cap that represents the unit vector. So always the unit vector is normal to the surface. Okay. Suppose if you have any curved surface, so over the curved surface, how many number of field lines are there? If the external field is uniform or non-uniform, whatever may be the field, magnetic field உனக்கு யூனிஃபார்மா இருக்கலாம், இல்ல வேரியிங் மேக்னெட்டிக் ஃபீல்டாகவும் இருக்கலாம். அப்படி இருக்க கேஸ்க்கு ஃப்ளக்ஸ் என்னவா இருக்கும்? ஒவ்வொரு எலமெண்ட்டும் சேர்த்து டோட்டல் எலமெண்ட்டுக்கு என்ன பண்ணுவோம்? டோட்டல் ஃப்ளக்ஸ் இஸ் summation of all the element. So we can integrate. If you want to find the total flux, we need to integrate the every surfaces. So this is the total flux. And here in the cases, if the field is touching normally to the, if the field is touching tangentially, then theta is equal to 90 degree, then the flux is 0. Suppose the field is normal. Here field is touching tangential. Tangential na? Yes, field is touching tangential. In the surface ki tangential ave podu. Okay, if the field is touching tangentially to the surface, then theta is 90 degree. If the field is normal, if the field is, this is the field, if the field is normal to the every surface area, then theta is 0 degree, then flux is maximum. So to get the maximum flux, the field, the external magnetic field should be touching normal to the area, unit area. Okay. Next, we are going to discuss some more points. Okay. Now, some more points we are going to discuss about the magnetic flux. Observe the diagram. There is a point source, but the point source may be a charge or a magnetic pole. Okay. In electrostatic case, the point source may be a charge, positive charge or negative charge, but now we are in the magnetic induction, electromagnetic induction, so it may be a magnetic pole. But from the point source, let us assume 16 field lines are emerging out. Okay, if it is a positive charge, the 16 field lines are emerging out. If it is a north pole, the 16 field lines are emerging out. On the path of this field lines, we have the two area. The first area which have one square unit. Similarly, the second area which have the four square units. Look at that. The first area which have a single square unit, only one square unit. This is area 1. Whereas the area 2 that have 4. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 square units. Okay. So from this first square unit in the area 1, how many field lines are entering? 16 field lines are entering. Therefore, the flux density in area 1, which is equal to how many field lines? 16 field lines are crossing over 1 square unit. So we can say that 16 field lines in 1 square unit area. Similarly, in the second area, same in a second area, the flux density is, from the second area, the flux density is 16 field lines are entering in 4 square unit. So we have 16 by 4, that is 4 field lines. So over square unit 4 field lines. 4 field lines in each square unit. Okay. Moreover, this magnetic flux is a scalar quantity. We know flux phi is equal to B vector dot A vector. So the dot product of the two vector resultant will be a scalar. That already we know. So flux is so magnetic flux is a scalar quantity. It is a scalar quantity. Now we are going to find its SI unit. So SI unit is Weber. SI unit is Weber. It is denoted by capital W, small b. The SI unit of flux is Weber. So the relation to the flux and the magnetic field. So 1 Weber, which is equal to 1 Tesla in 1 meter square. So 1 meter square area la irukka magnetic field 1 Tesla va irundha, then magnetic flux created in the region is 1 Weber. But CGS unit also we have. The CGS unit of flux is Maxwell. Okay. So mx, small x. So where 1 Weber, which is equal to 10 to the power 8 Maxwell. Note it. In the numerical solving we are going to use it. 1 Weber is equal to 10 to the power 8 Maxwell. Okay. Already we know the relation. What is the relation? We know flux is equal to field into area into cos theta. But field ku force ku relation irukku. Okay. So the magnetic force F is equal to QVB, or the magnetic field is equal to F by QV. Now we are going to set the dimensional formula. To set the dimensional formula, we are using this relation. Then flux phi is equal to, what is the B? It is F by V into A cos theta. Now set the dimensional formula. For force already we know. Mass into acceleration, that is mLT power minus 2. For area, meter square, so L square divided by velocity. Yes, QV, we forgot the QV. So what we have? So Q is a charge. So it is nothing but, what is a charge? Charge is nothing but current into time. So charge is nothing but current into time, that is ampere into second, and velocity is meter per second. So LT power minus 1. Therefore the final dimensional formula after cancelling, we have ml square T power minus 2 ampere inverse. So this is the dimensional formula of flux. Okay, so this is the dimensional formula of magnetic flux. We have one more relation from the Weber. Weber is equal to joule per ampere. Okay, Weber is equal to energy by current. Okay, joule, there is no change, but ampere and charge relation, current I is equal to Q by T. So Q is a charge by second. So joule second by coulomb. Joule second by coulomb. So joule per coulomb, which is nothing but potential. Work done by charge is nothing but potential. The unit is volt second. So therefore Weber is equal to volt second. Weber is equal to volt into second. And one more thing from this, if the body is present in the uniform or non-uniform magnetic field, note it, it's very important thing. If the body is present in uniform or non-uniform magnetic field, the outward flux is always the outward flux is taken as positive. Whereas the inward flux is taken as negative. Whether the body is in uniform magnetic field or non-uniform magnetic field, always the outward flux is taken as positive, like a positive charge. From positive charge you take it, electric field, positive charge, and the field lines are emerging outwards. No, same like here, in the outward magnetic flux is taken as positive, inward magnetic field, magnetic flux is taken as negative. Like north pole flux is radially outward, it is positive, and south pole is entering into it, so it is taken as negative. So these cases we are going to use in the numerical solving. Okay, the next we have experiments. So three experiments, that is Faraday's and Maxwell experiments. So about the from the experiment only we are going to define the phenomena electromagnetic inductions. So what are the things they changed? By changing the coils and the magnets and some other factors, how they are defined the electromagnetic inductions. So in the next class we are going to discuss the experiments. Okay, Faraday's experiments. Thank you. The next topic. Okay, so far we are keep on talking about the electromagnetic induction. So to understand this electromagnetic induction phenomena, Michael Faraday and Henry, they demonstrated the experiments. They demonstrated the three experiments. From the three experiments by Faraday and Henry, we are going to study still deeper about electromagnetic induction. Look at the first experiment. In the first case, we have a coil. So this is the coil. It's like a current carrying conductor which have a n number of turns. Okay. So in this current carrying conductor, that is the copper coil, that is the insulated copper coil, which are externally connected to a galvanometer. So this is a galvanometer. Normally the galvanometer points 0 at the center like this. Okay, ammeter, voltmeter and all to the left hand side, but galvanometer is 0 at the center, and either side the readings are there. Now you choose a bar magnet. I have taken not myself, Faraday and Henry. They have chosen the north pole of the bar magnet, and they introduced the north pole of the bar magnet inside the coil. So the field lines from north pole to south pole emerged from the north pole. So while they inserted the north pole of the bar magnet, the galvanometer needle that shows deflection instead of the center, it is deflected to the left side. If they are drawn the north pole outwards, then the deflection also found in opposite directions. Okay, by continuous movement of magnet inside the coil. while they're introducing, deflection is in one left hand right hand side, while they're drawn outside, deflection is opposite direction. So by the continuous movement of magnet inside the coil, there is a deflection in the galvanometer. So from this we can conclude that the relative motion between the magnet and the coil in the circuit that produced induced EMF, because galvanometer can be deflected only by the current inducing. So here current is induced. So due to induced current, there is a deflection in the galvanometer. So whenever the magnetic flux linked with the coil initially, if you are not moving the magnet inside the coil, it is at the zero. While moving inwards, the deflection in the one side. When it is drawn outside, the deflection is outwards. By the continuous movement of magnet inside the coil, the galvanometer shows the deflections. It is due to the induced current. So the magnetic flux linked with the coil changes and EMF is induced. You may ask question, sir, suppose if I kept the magnet inside the coil, what will happen? While you are moving, the deflection goes by placing, there is no relative motion, so galvanometer remains zero. Suppose if the magnet is held inside the coil, galvanometer won't show any deflections. So first experiment about the current induced by the magnet. So the magnet have a relative motion with the coil, EMF is induced. Okay, so this is the experiment and this is the conclusion. And coming to the second experiment, look at here, we have a two coil. So this is coil 1 and this is coil 2. So here we have a two coil, but look at that, the first coil is connected to the battery. So we can say that it is a solenoid. It is a solenoid. So solenoid produce magnetic field. இங்க நம்ம external bar magnet யூஸ் பண்ணி மூவ் பண்ணோம். பட் இங்க நம்ம என்ன பண்ண போறோம்? ஒரே ஃப்ரேம்ல ஒரு சைடுல less number of turns, இன்னொரு சைடுல more number of turns இருக்க coil இருக்கு. But the first coil is connected to the battery. So this coil acts as a electromagnet. And the second coil is connected to the galvanometer. So when a key is plugged in, the current flows in the first coil. This is the direction of the current. Okay, I forgot to mention about the current, and this is the direction of the current. So current is entering. So this is the direction of the current. Due to this current, so this side acts as a north pole. Negative means this side acts as a north pole. Another one side will be south pole. So the field lines are linked with the coil. Soon immediately from zero, the galvanometer goes to deflection at one side. But again, நீ switch on பண்ண அந்த ஒரு செகண்ட் மட்டும் galvanometer deflection போயிட்டு again it coming to zero, which means the galvanometer shows momentary deflections. Momentary deflections. The galvanometer that shows the momentary deflections, because in the side continues the north pole act ஆயிட்டு இருக்கும். One side always north pole alone continuously linked with the coil. Only at the fraction of second while you are plugging the key, the galvanometer shows deflection. Soon immediately it comes to zero. So relative motion is not an absolute requirement. The current can be induced even without relative motions. நம்ம மேக்னெட்டை மூவ் பண்ணி மட்டும் தான் நம்ம கரண்ட்டை ப்ரொடியூஸ் பண்ணணும்னு அவசியம் இல்லை. நம்ம மேக்னெட்டை மூவ் பண்ணாமே கரண்ட்டை ப்ரொடியூஸ் பண்ணலாம். இங்க நம்ம எதையுமே மூவ் பண்ணல. ஒரே ஃப்ரேம்ல coil 1 and coil 2 இருக்கு. But the first coil is connected to the battery that acts as a electromagnet, and the second coil, as usual, it is connected to the galvanometer. By placing the coils nearer without touching, when terminals are connected to the battery, immediately the galvanometer shows the deflections, but it won't last longer. Soon immediately it comes to zero. Then the deflection is called momentary deflections. But what makes the galvanometer to deflect? Because the north pole alone are always linked with the coil. So initially when the north pole linked with the coil, it shows deflection, but there is no changing the pole. Then again it comes to zero. Okay. Then the third experiment, the current is induced by changing the current. Look at it. It is same like experiment. Additionally, we are connected one key. This key is called tapping key. This key is called tapping key. That is tap key. Okay. And this is galvanometer. Initially, when a key is open, this is the galvanometer position. Okay. When a key is open, this is the galvanometer position. Now you press the tap key. While you're pressing the tap key, the negative terminal. Okay. This is the direction of the current in the circuit. So this side acts as a north pole, another one is act as a south pole. Immediately this north pole linked with the coil, the galvanometer goes to deflection. Okay, key press பண்றப்போ இது எப்பனா when this key is pressed with this, so circuit is closed. But key press பண்ணிட்டே இருக்க நான் விரல அதுல இருந்து எடுக்கவே இல்லனா galvanometer immediate என்ன ஆயிக்கும் 0 க்கு வந்துரும். But நான் key ரிலீஸ் பண்றப்ப என்ன ஆகும் deflections opposite direction போயிட்டு மறுபடியும் சென்டருக்கு வரும். So இப்படியே கண்டினியூஸா நான் tab key press பண்ணி எடுக்க poles என்ன ஆயிட்டே இருக்கும், poles changes. So by pressing the tab key frequently while you're pressing deflection to right side, by taking out again to left side to 0. So while you're pressing 0 to right side, taking out 0 to left side again to 0. So this is how by changing the tab key, not changing the tab key, pressing the tab key continuously, the galvanometer shows deflections. So the conclusions, in the absence of the relative motion, or in the relative motion between the coil 1 and coil 2, the current is induced in the coil 2. So here alone the current is induced. So in coil 2 alone the current is induced. But we didn't move anything. In case 2 and case 3 we didn't move anything. In case 1 alone the magnet is introduced inside the coil. Okay, suppose you question கேட்கலாம், sir நான் magnet தான் மூவ் பண்ணனுமா, coil மூவ் பண்ண தேவையில்லையா? Yes, you can move it. But either the magnet should move into the coil or the coil should move into the magnet. So the relative motions that induce the current. But in the second case, we induce the current, but that is fraction of second alone. Due to the that is a momentary deflection due to the north pole of an electromagnet that acts from the first coil. In a second coil, when a tap key is continuously pressing, then we can change the polarity, then the current is induced. So, but we didn't move anything here. So in case 2, experiment 2 and experiment 3, without any relative motions, due to the coil 2, due to the coil 1, in coil 2 the EMF is induced. Okay, so first coil la tab key vechirukom. So with the help of the first coil, in the second coil the EMF is induced, that is induced current. Okay, so this is the experiments demonstrated by Faraday and Henry. Okay, next class we are going to discuss about the motivational EMF. Okay, thank you.